Hey guys, what's going on? It's MajiinBae. Welcome back to the channel. So if you probably saw from the title or the thumbnail, I recently hit rank 1 with this deck, Jace, Heimerdinger, Shadow Isles, and I figured we'd go over the list and then I'd show you the last game it took to get me to rank 1, which was a really, really good game. So this is the list. It's pretty standard right now. There's a couple cards that are like missing and or added that generally aren't, and it is slightly different from the list that I took to rank 1. This is more what I will be playing going forward. Things that changed were like I added another copy of Pharaoh's Financier, I cut a copy of Quietus, and I added a copy of Hexbliterator over, I think, the Ruination or something like that. So this deck's been around for a really long time. It's not exactly anything new and exciting. What is new and exciting is this card, Epic Scraptraption, which is a 1-mana slow spell to play, spend all your mana, summon a runaway Scrap Trap, and grow its stats that amount, which is basically just an XX with Brash. And this card is the best card in the deck. Like, wow, this card is insane. I was super, super low on it when reveals happened because it just looked like a worse production surge, but this card, it is a mech, so it works with your Hextech Handler. Sorry, tech, whatever we call it. But most importantly is you just go pass, here's a 6/6, and that is really good. It's a 6/6 with an evasive keyword. It's kind of hard to block Brash, and a lot of times, like, you don't want the units that can block Brash, you don't want to block with them. There's not a lot of like 2/3s hanging around that you're just willing to throw away. It's usually a bunch of like 2/2s and 2/1s that you want to chump with, and you can't do that with Brash. So this card, not only does it give you like a stellar offense early, but a 6/6 on turn 3 just shuts the board down. It reminds me of like the Remembrance decks in the past, going past Remembrance, and then you're like, oh great, a 4/5 tough, I can't get past this, right? It has that very same feeling. Right now, I'm on all 3 copies of Soul Harvest, and the reason for that is the mirror. It is very important that you're able to have Soul Harvest to deal with opposing Heimerdingers in the mirror. I'm trying to find other ways to like eke out an edge, and it's really tough. The mirror is very swingy. Your first check is like, do you have Scraptraption on 3 or 4 or whatever? Like, can you deal with a Heimerdinger? What do you do about this Jace, right? Like, you often just play Jace on like turn 4 as a challenger. It's just a weird mirror, and I don't want to lose something that gives me so many points in the mirror, so I'm playing all 3 copies of Soul Harvest. It's also just a pretty good card. You'll almost always find a target for it, right? The unit base isn't anything super crazy. You have Adaptatron, which spreads keywords for your tech. You have Forge Chief, which allows you to get on board and still cast a 6-cost spell on turn 3. 3 copies of Pharaoh's Financier, which just gives you some flexibility in the spells. You can find all sorts of goodies in there. And Hextech Handler, which no longer has Quick Deck. That is lying to you. But it is still very, very good. Just being able to pump up all your techs and make your production surges insane. Very good. Let's talk about the 6-cost spells. This is all like standard removal, right? Nothing too crazy. We don't need to go over Quietus, Mystic Shot, Aftershock, any of that. I did sub 1 Aftershock for Piltow and Tailstones because I was finding that double drawing Aftershock made me sad, and I wish it was a progress day, so here we are. We have one that is a Tailstones. 3 copies of Formula because it's nuts. It's the best card draw in the game right now. We have 1 Hexbliterator. This is a new addition. I want to be good into Vaintrox, and I really wanted more copies of things I can do after playing Heimerdinger when he gets killed immediately. So if I'm playing the Donger Mirror and I go to turn 8, I play Heimerdinger and they Soul Harvest my Heimerdinger. I want to be able to just Hexbliterator, right? I only have so many Vengeances. I only have so many formulas. It's just another card. It's very good against Vaintrox. I wanted a 4th Vengeance. I would play like 6 if I could, I think. So Hexbliterator steps up. Hopefully it does what I need it to. 1 copy of Piercing Darkness. I really like this card. 6 mana, drain 5. It hits something in every single deck, and 5 life gain can just win you like a game on the spot. Really, really big fan of this one. Copying it with Jace will often not do what you want it to do, because if the first one kills, if the first spell kills the unit, that will drain life, and then the second one won't because it doesn't hit anything. Shock Blast down to 1. I used to be like a slam dunk 3 of this card, and it's just like less good now. There's a lot of pump spells. Standard is very like board based at the moment, and there's a lot of stats running around. So currently only 1 copy of Shock Blast. Might go up in the future. We'll see. And then the full 3 Vengeance. I currently don't have a Ruination. It did feel a little bit clunky. If people start going back to like Warden of the Tribes decks, then I'll start going back to Ruination. But what I was finding is that the decks that I wanted to play Ruination against had Rite of Negation, and that made me very sad. I felt like if you're gonna play against a champion strength deck, like Heimerdinger is already very good against those kind of decks because you have a plethora of removal and you just like poop out blockers forever because of things like Heimerdinger and Production Surge. You just never stop. You never stop having blockers. All right, so general game plan of the deck is to cast a 6-cost spell early, and then either outstat them with Tex, go late with like Heimer, or get Jace doubling spells, and you basically just like bully people. It's like a control deck. It's not like an actual control deck. It's a control deck. You kind of control the board just by like your spells are really, really, really good, and your units are really, really, really good. And eventually, when you start getting the Hex deck handlers down, and like maybe your opponent can't answer Heimerdinger, they just lose the game on the spot. It's just over. And that's what makes the deck so powerful. Also, you just have these starts where it's like, okay, scrap Traption on 3 for 6 into a Hex deck handler. All right, here's 12 damage coming at you that's like really hard to deal with. The deck's powerful. It does some powerful things. Let's talk about like mulligans, because I think this is a part where people mess up a lot. One, if your opponent has pings that stop Forge Chief, you should not keep Forge Chief. The exception being against aggro decks where it blocks. Like if you're playing against Jin Nar, for example, and you're attacking first, and you keep Forge Chief, and you play Forge Chief, and they pie toss it, all of a sudden you can't cast Scrap Traption on 3 anymore, and you should be sad, and that's your fault. Don't do that. I will very, very often, unless my opponent is playing a deck where they're going to be attacking me on turn 1, I don't have the attack token on turn 1. Like I usually just will never keep Forge Chief on if I'm attacking on evens, because it's just never going to survive. And if it does, it's just not worth the risk, right? So usually mulligan that. Again, unless it's against aggro decks, against decks with no pings, that kind of stuff. Adaptatron is really good, but again, unless you're against aggro decks, you don't really keep it. It's a 1/3-on-1, which is incredible, actually. We got that drop order stats against decks like Jinx Kennen, but it's not that good of a card until later into the game. Just mulligan it. It's fine. Pharaoh's Financier can be good. Again, you can keep it when you need to like block early and stuff. It combines really well with like another spell. And then you just move your 6-cost spell back to turn 4, right? You go like Pharaoh's Financier and Mystic Shot, and now you have 6 mana on turn 4 instead, and that's fine. It's good for late game stuff, right? You can just play it, find something really good, worry about it later. It's a fine keep, but you shouldn't be like excited to keep Pharaoh's Financier. And Hextech Handler, I do keep actually quite a bit. I'm a pretty big fan of this card. I think it's a keep even if you don't have a 6-cost spell in hand. But if you're going to be keeping Hextech Handlers, you need to be more liberal with mulliganing your other spells. Jace and Heimerdinger, some matchups it's okay to keep one or the other, like, but only if the Jace challenger is really good. Then you can keep Jace. That's like the only time you can keep Jace in your opening hand. And Heimerdinger, I usually keep in matchups that are either really, really slow or in matchups where my opponent won't actually have a way to deal with it, and it's pretty instrumental for me winning the game. Examples being like the Elusives deck. They can't actually deal with Heimerdinger very well outside of like specifically double Mystic Shots, so I'll keep him and then I'll just chain Elusive turrets on turn 6 till the end of the game. And that's how I win that matchup. Same thing with like Demacia stuff, champ strength decks. They're not very good at actually dealing with Heimerdinger. So you get them on the board, you start spamming spells, and all of a sudden they can't ever get through again. Otherwise, you should probably mulligan him. The random removal spells, you should be very, very picky. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see people mulliganing, looking at their opening hand and going, yeah, that removal spell could be kind of good here, and then keeping it. Like, don't keep a random Aftershock. Don't keep a random Mystic Shot. You should know going into mulligans. You should see the matchup, be like, okay, I'm playing against the Mirror, right? And then you look down at, like, Mystic Shot, Quietus, Forge Chief Financier, or whatever, right? Like, you absolutely should not keep Mystic Shot Quietus. Can it kill something in the mirror? Yeah, but will it kill anything important? No. Mulligan it. It's really, really, really vital that you find your important stuff. And the important stuff, honestly, the #1 card you should be keeping in every single matchup is Epic Scrap Traption. It's just so, so, so powerful. It does exactly what you want to do. It gets you on the right footing of the game because you want to be pushing tempo. You don't want to be super behind. Then, next up is the matchup dependent removal spells, right? If you're playing against a Nora deck, you should be keeping Mystic Shot. or a Soul Harvest or something like that, right? Like you should be keeping something that's very good. Maybe you're playing against Vaintrox. Keeping Hex Obliterator is totally okay because it really insulates you against the 4/3 Scout unit. Vengeance is kind of sus unless you're against a deck that like Vengeance is really, really important. It's just kind of expensive, and the deck really wants to go like pass 6 drop, and you don't want to go pass Vengeance your turn 3 play or your turn 2 play, right? That sucks. So I would usually just give that one a pass. Find your matchup specific removal spells, important 6-cost spells, Hex Tech Handlers, and Scrap Traptions. That's what you should be looking for. Don't settle for mediocre cards where you can mulligan them and have a chance at hitting really, really good ones. And yeah, that's the deck. I'm not going to go into specific matchups here. I'm sure there's a write-up on it on MasteringRuneterra.com. Go check it out. But yeah, I figured I'd give you guys the little bit of a deeper deck tech and then show you the last game I had to get into rank 1 against Sir Termin. Enjoy. Okay. This went well last time. Hopefully it goes well again. I found Aftershock. That's good. I think we're going to mulligan these two. I like Scrap Trappytron. I'm going to play TFT. If we win this one, yes. We're going to put the dong on number 1, baby. Just so chat knows, the event is sponsored by Realm Games, and they're giving away a flight to Barcelona during the stream. What? How do I... Am I allowed to get it? Can I win it? Bang, 6-6. One flight to someone in the event, one flight to someone in the stream. Damn, can I double dip?
They're my friends. I do, friends.
I will bury the world in ice.
It's a lot of thralls. I'm glad we actually have ways to deal with the guy this time, the 5-drop, right? You see the Flesh and Blood post about Bright Light? Yeah, the all mech set, we're stoked. That's how we feel about it. We're stoked. Make a 5/5? No, okay. So you're setting up for the big one. You're gonna be really sad when I kill that guy. I get to play Nugget and keep up our 6-cost spell. I'm not gonna let you play him for free. I can also just Aftershock and keep up a 6-cost spell.
If I stumble, I have the earth to catch me.
Talia!
Distance means so little when family means so much.
We don't have Donger.
Beware falling rocks.
Looking pretty scary? It is looking pretty scary. Vagabond Traveler, thank you for the prime. Tired of ads. Thanks, man. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Okay, we do this. And Victoria Shade, thank you guys. Hopefully we can get a dub here, but it's kind of spooky. Not surprising. Ooh. The Mad Nemo Gaming with the tier 1. Damn, everybody dropping subs. Thank you, everybody. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Means I can Piercing Darkness Talia. Then we go like this. Here. Here. We kind of are forced to keep up the 6-cost spell because of that guy.
True leader.
Remember, we're the ones who make progress happen.
That's not good.
Like threading a needle.
That card don't do anything.
Turn the stones. Throw another rock.
We're working here. Get out!
Hmm.
It's an awesome day for progress.
This game needs rerolls like DFD. It'd be a little too consistent, I think. Spinner for the outs? Well, I mean, like, what outs does Song Spinner give us is the question. Sure, okay. Let's get Chase down here. With Challenger.
Tomorrow has never looked so good.
Wish we had a Heimerdinger.
Hey, big man. You ready to get
Hey,
invented?
big man. Nora.
All day, every day, Reggie.
Ooh, and it's going to be a list flip that I can't deal with. That's not dope. Why True Shot Barrage? Because I can combine it with things like Mystic
am
Shot
eternal.
to hopefully try to keep the board down a bit. It gives me an out to Talia, which is big.
Hextech engaged.
Let's get moving.
Like this.
Interesting use of tech.
205. If Turman's hand is like kind of dookie, we'll get there. If it's good, we won't.
Bubba?
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. Oh, I got 3 times of vengeance. Block here, block here.
Now's not a good time. Hey, show me that again.
You have right negation? This is at 4 of 5 too. It's like so close. Okay, not dead. Let's go. PogChamp. What do you got? What do you got, Turman? We have a lot of spells that can just like swing this game. If we hit Shock Blast, it's big. Kind of annoying. Not the biggest deal. Eventually it will be, but it isn't right now. Epic Scrap Traption. Is that our best bet? Feels bad. Think we formula. Jace. Shock Blast. Okay, so we Shock Blast, right?
It's over 9,000.
It's legendary. Thank you for the 13 months. Unless want to hit rank 1. I do want to hit rank 1, yeah. Just for fun. The Twitter's...
Your eyes on the horizon and your feet on the ground.
Okay. No, we're okay. We're okay. We have vengeance. It's fine. That's a dead draw.
You're in.
Doesn't do anything.
I hate traffic.
Ugh. Okay. Is Watcher online? No, they're one short. Third Vengeance is Giga Clutch.
Let's get to work. Well, if it isn't the man of tomorrow.
Hey, back to work if you don't want to be the lady of yesterday. Replicating the power spike.
There's a lot of fucking stats. We could get hit with Buried in Ice, so I probably shouldn't have played Forge Chief. Yeah. That way I could just have a blocker, because like I don't actually have anything. Oh, okay. Donger.
Ah, the sweet smell of science.
Sure beats the smell of
Because if
burning
it's
workshop.
harsh winds, we don't win yet. But if I Donger first and it's second buried, I formula and I get 2 8 3 elusives. Donger feels greedy? No, it's like the opposite. Attacking's greedy. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kill our own guy to make a turret. We're gonna hold this in our hand. We're gonna cast Acceleration Gate if we get another pass.
Hold on!
Jace is used? Oh, yeah. Oh, he's used because of Frozen Tome? Oh, that's funny. So like we don't quite get there then? How much damage does this do?
What's the solve?
Sylvian Heartsmith with Gate. I think it's still Gate. Or play the unit. Six, 9. Okay, I do have to do something. So I'm just going to play Gate.
Ready for acceleration.
We're short here. If we get buried, we hit Spell Shield. But like we could formula into a Mystic next turn or something. I don't know how many Buried and Ice he plays. But if he had it, he would have played it, I think.
I concur.
This feels so weird. This feels so weird.
A sturdy construction. Yeah.
Now that I have Spell Shield, I get to roll that out because we have 14 here.
Hey, show me that again.
Okay, you make a blocker. Uh-huh. Two blockers.
Round and round and advancing collective knowledge. Goggles on.
Block, block. Freeze, freeze. Can definitely live here. Okay. So, that'll live. The problem, I can't cast Formula if this attacks. We have big blockers, but like we could get hit with Buried and then we die. Oh, so close. God damn it. Okay, 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 okay. We just hit another Mystic here, right? Every time? Production Surge might keep us alive. What a ridiculous game. Okay. Go to 2. We have 3 cards
I've
left.
got gravel cakes and slag fruit.
That's huge.
Eminently logical.
Okay.
Yes, yes, again! A sturdy construction. Yeah, I have a new method to evaluate.
So even if this doesn't work, even if this is a freeze, I think we're still chilling. Because we get back our like 11/11s. Or 12/12s or whatever they are. And then we get one more attack. How many cards left? 2. We get one more attack.
Progress waits for no one.
Come on. Just click OK and we hit rank 1. Just click OK and we hit rank 1. Just click OK and we hit rank 1. Quicksand. Still alive.
Sleep. Kadira.
Okay, here we go. We're back. We got 12/12s. And we draw the Mystic Shot just in case. Just in case. Ooh, didn't even matter. All right, I got to see it. I got to see it with my own eyes.
Truly remarkable.
It's over 9.
Thank you, Mass, for the prime, man. I appreciate the 2 months. 1038. Yeah! Yeah! The screenshot! Yeah!